8:47, Monday the 22nd of June 2026. Right, so as I was going to say, right, because I've really thought about it recently. Right, so see how like every single team has like maybe like either a good team spirit or someone that like stands out a little bit more. Like for instance, right, recently, definitely in the last maybe year to 2 years, Cristiano Ronaldo, everything that made him great and everything that people say that he's great, that like the things that made him great, all that's like starting to slow down a bit. And definitely though, because he plays all the time and he's getting older, and he's one of the type of players that like always wants to improve, and if he's just below, then his standards doesn't meet. And because they have to like build the team around him to get the best out of him, it's suffering because of other players. So that's why they probably won't win it this year, even though I've put 50p each way for them to win. But anyhow, like for instance, like Messi and Mo Salah are phenomenal players, and will be like obviously Messi is one of the all-time greats, but so will Mo Salah be. But they two are really good and want to improve every time and like set standards, but they're no like sort of like if they didn't score or if they didn't get like a pass when they should have, they didn't moan and groan and like do all the hullabaloo that Ronaldo does. Like there's a difference. Like every player obviously wants to improve, but Ronaldo's like a machine that like has to have it his way and has to have the team around him. But Mo Salah and Messi will sacrifice themselves for the good of the team. Definitely, because don't quote me on this, but I think when Argentina won the World Cup 4 years ago, Messi, I didn't think he even scored that day, but it was all about him, but in a good way though, not in like a selfish way like the Ronaldo would be. But anyway, it's just that like the really big, the really big players for smaller countries sacrifice herself for the good of the team, but Ronaldo doesn't. Aye, like for instance, like I've just watched the highlights of the Egyptian game, and Egypt looked good and they won, but Mo Salah didn't even score, but he set up a goal for a corner. But I really like the way that Egypt play. But beforehand, I didn't ken that Trezeguet was Egyptian, and I didn't ken that that Mamouche was Egyptian, and I really like that Zico for Egypt. They're much more than people give them credit for. They're not just Mo Salah. But I think that Portugal, they're like best players would flourish more if Ronaldo was on the bench and came on for like the last 20 minutes. Like the players that are just below Ronaldo, like say like second or third best in that squad, would have a more chance to stand out more, and it would be more balanced. Definitely, but no matter what though, he is definitely nowhere near as good as he was like 4 years ago. And even someone said it on a video that like his positioning wasn't good and all that, and he's just losing it a bit. But definitely 110%, no matter what, if I was the Portuguese manager in the next match, I would start him on the bench. Definitely, because that would maybe give him a time to think, well, he's still human at the end of the day, and you need to treat him like one, not like he's a machine. Even though he is. Because there was a video once saying, is Ronaldo human? And at his peak of his powers, he had more muscle fat than actual body fat. That's crazy. But from where he came when Man U first signed him to now, he has sacrificed his life to become one of the all-time greats. Even though right now he definitely isn't. Because Mbappe's better at the moment, Lamine Yamal's better at the moment, probably even that Williams that came on as a substitute for Spain yesterday's better. And Mo Salah's definitely better at the moment, even though he dipped last season at Liverpool. But anyhow, Haaland is a lot better than him at the moment. God, I would even say Garner and Dewsbury Hall for Everton are better at the moment because they've had better seasons. I mean, I've not watched Ronaldo, and I didn't ken his numbers, but anyway. But it's been a good World Cup so far. It's improved in the last 4 or 5 days. Yesterday's result, oh God, who was that? Oh, Belgium against Iran. Aye, that was a phenomenal point for Iran. Aye, but as I said, or as I'm going to say actually, that Kevin De Bruyne's no turned it on, Ronaldo's no turned it on, oh God, who else was it that hasn't turned it on? There's someone, well, Declan Rice hasn't, but they've only had one game. No, it's lost on me now, but they three haven't turned it on. John McGinn and Scott McTominay, respectively, for Scotland haven't turned it on, even though they're phenomenal for their clubs. There is someone else though that's just way below par. Can't think who it is. It was a little bit of a risk for Brazil to take Neymar. He's actually one that when he's always in the team, they have to sacrifice stuff around him, set up the team to get the best out of him rather than set the team up good for just the whole team, not just one player. See, that's the thing that the really top players. Top players or players that have got an ego. Oh, for God's sake, that drilling or sanding next door. Right, anyway, it's far too early in the morning today. It's only 8:54. Should start at least 9:30. Right, anyway, but that's another story for another day. Anyhow, what was I going to say there? Aye, that was it. I would rather have a team spirit like the Tony Pulis Stoke days when they used to just hoof it up to Peter Crouch or the big strong guys that they had up front. That was good. Or the Sam Allardyce days with Bolton Wanderers when they had Kevin Davis up front. That was the good old days. But New Zealand play a bit like that. They've got a good players that didn't score enough and didn't get enough credit, but when you look at their stats, they're really good because they help at the team. It's a bit like in the early 90s and very early 2000s when Liverpool or England had Heskey in the team, and for some reason he's not very good, doesn't score enough, but they win more when he's in the team because he helps the other players around him. I like a player that isn't properly full on talented but makes the team play better when they're in it. I like a tall guy, maybe Peter Crouch, or a guy like Kevin Davis, or Kevin Davis, or Chris Woods, or someone like Wilson, that used to play for Bournemouth and Newcastle, good at maybe scoring once every 3 games, but makes the team better because he's in it, because he links up play. Strikers are not all about pure out and out goal scoring, because basically and in essence you could have a big tall guy up front that is good, and then you could have someone that really puts in a shift like Chris Wood. Woods, and then you can incorporate someone like Salah and Lamine Yamal, and they two selfless players would make them look better. So get players that are workhorses and would literally run through a brick wall for you, and then you put in superstars that all the other players fight and give them the ball to make them the best. Like that's what I think Spain are got to do. They're always got to pass and then get to their best players. Like with Lamine Yamal, when he's on form, oft, aye. But Eddie Howe, Spain looked good yesterday, but they were overreacting. It was a comfortable win, and the way that they won was impressive, but it was only Saudi, Lawrence of Arabia. But Eddie Howe, it's just that I didn't take it out of proportion, but they've got a good balance to their team because Rodri, if he didn't have that injury, big injury that kept him out for a year, God knows, but he is definitely, when he fully retires, he's got to go down as Spain's all-time greats, and so is Lamine Yamal. And maybe a few others. I liked that one that crossed the ball all the way along the defence for the guy that scored 2, I think. I think Lamine Yamal only got 1 and then someone got 2. But anyway, just because a game finishes 4-0 or 5-0 doesn't mean to say necessarily that it was a good game, because I've seen like 1-1 or 2-2 draws that are better than that. So it's about the two teams. But it was just like a training game for Spain. But how can they beat Lawrence of Saudi Arabia that convincingly if they can't even beat Cape Verde? Because Cape Verde are nowhere near as good as Saudi Arabia. I mean, not by much, but at least I've heard of Saudi Arabia. So anyway, Saudi Lawrence of Arabia. But anyhow, there's so many players from each team that have just maybe not hit the ground running like they should. But it's a better collective. For instance as well though, right, even though I didn't want to admit it, it looks like a good team spirit with the England squad, and when you look at what they've took into the World Cup, that result was an absolutely phenomenal result, considering that Croatia have been runners-up and the semi-finalists and runners-up in the last 2 World Cups, and the capacity of their country is less than the Holy London. Absolutely unbelievable. That just shows you how great they are. But they've got such a great team spirit, because apart from the captain, Modric, no one else is a proper outstander, but he has got to be, when he retires, or when you look back in 20 years time, he will be one of the most underrated all-time greats. What he's done, I never ever thought in my wildest dreams he would go on to bigger and better things after leaving Tottenham, and I never ever thought he would do anywhere near as good as he has for Real Madrid. He could easily get into that Galacticos, like the team that had Ronaldo and R9 and Beckham in it in the early 2000s. For 2001 to 2005, he could easily get into that team, easily. He could easily slot in right next to Zidane, easily. And just at the age of 40 and then gone on to doing another couple of years is incredible. Whenever you see him, he's no very skillful, no very fast. He's just so intelligent. He's like the Croatian version of Pirlo. Just so silky and amazing to watch. Always can scan the picture and like almost decide what he's doing before the ball comes to him. I love that type of player that looks like he's not trying, but up there there's like the cogs are working. Like basically, and in essence, if Pirlo and Modric was like say the whole team was a watch, they would be like the part where it looks very, very, very simple, but without it the whole thing would collapse. Like it's the part that keeps it all ticking. So say for instance, if Mo Salah, Haaland, Ronaldo and Messi was like the face of the watch, like the bit that you always see that like his own show all the time, then if you were to dig down and see like a part that you didn't realise is there, but without it wouldn't like work, then that's what Pirlo and Modric is. But definitely players exactly like Pirlo and Modric is the players that like no, in fact, what I'm saying now, Mo Salah, Haaland, Ronaldo and Messi and Lamine Yamal are the players that you want to pay to go and watch, but Pirlo and Modric are the two players you would want in your team if you were playing. And if it was a dog fight for like keeping it tight when things are going wrong, then you would choose Pirlo and Modric. And if you needed someone to win you the game and do like a moment of magic for like a highlight reel, obviously it's the big outstanding players. There's always a player in a team like that like just isn't anything that the big players are, but their presence in the team, and when you look at the overall stats, they win more, keep the ball more, and set up attacks more when they're in the team. So definitely Pirlo and Modric are two of my all-time greats, and right here and right now, if I could only choose, apart from the Lamine Yamal, I wouldn't have any other of the players, and I would rather have Pirlo and Modric in the team. I would have Messi, because he's no big-headed like Ronaldo is. Anyway, so that's that, yep. The type of players that are like, that's it as well. I'd put Rodri in it as well. So Pirlo, Rodri and Modric are the three players where you technically didn't see how truly great they are until you see like a compilation what they do on the park. But then when you look at the overall stats, every time they're in the team, they obviously make the team better at keeping possession, more organised, and they've got a better winning percentage. Right. Bye.